Hey everybody, Crusher Jones here. Felt like making a video, so here's a video. Like and subscribe or I'll refuse to concede for weeks on end. I grew up being subjected to a certain 3-step educational paradigm, which went like this. Number 1, figure out everything for yourself. Number 2, get ignored or chastised if you ask questions. And number 3, get told off for everything not being perfect at the end of the day. So I had to learn a lot of lessons the hard way. And to be real, it sucked. But even though this video sounds like I'm gonna dump and grump, I've also learned some really cool stuff. And so I thought I'd offer 3 valuable pieces of life advice, which I use all the time. So without further ado, number 3, you end up taking care of whatever you buy. I have a storage space. It's pretty affordable, and I tend to keep everything I'm not using there. But I spend $600 on it every year, which is about what I try to put into my retirement fund every month. And man, I'd much rather have that money compounding than spend it on keeping a bunch of stuff in a locked room somewhere. I'm gonna have to go in sometime soon and start cataloging stuff and listing it online, just because I probably won't use it. And every time I go, I just remember to only buy things I really think I'll care about, use, or need. The point is, you end up taking care of whatever you buy. And this means you should seriously think about spending money on things. Do you really need that DVD you'll watch once? That shirt you think is kind of okay? That ironic frame photo from Goodwill? This is especially true when it comes to big purchases. I was happy to buy my friend's old car off him, but after I hit a deer a while ago, yes, it was weird and horrifying, and don't speed up or swerve, or it's even more dangerous, I ran the risk of having to replace it, but I was happy to have it repaired and keep it rolling, because, again, you end up taking care of whatever you spend money on, and this car was worth it. If I hated driving this car, I would have just given up on it and walked for 6 months. Hell, I work remotely and I barely drive. But remembering that I liked it and that I was willing to spend the money and the effort to take care of it helped guide my decision. And it helped me maintain my savings too. If you buy things and don't take care of them, you actually have some much bigger issues to deal with. Looking at you, shitty pet owners. Number 2, keep documentation. Always. Basically, if you don't have documents, emails, a paper trail, or receipts, you're going to be hung out to dry at some time or another. I've had people back out of professional promises, business agreements, and in one case a job offer, and the situations where I didn't have something signed were the ones where I got what the French refer to as les tough shit. Trust me, I think it sucks some people aren't worth their word. I think it blows when somebody tells you one story and then acts as if another is the actual case. And I think it's gross when somebody like a boss or a former friend plays pin the tail on the ass clown with you as the aforementioned red-nosed performer. But I've been in the middle of the I made this up and now it's the case argument, and pulling out the paperwork has always saved my backside. Always. Otherwise, you have no leverage. Even if you don't choose to use it, it's good to have. Working as an underling somewhere? Always write your boss back after you have a meeting, or after you get a request, with something along the lines of, so during our talk we discussed that I would do X, Y, and Z. This way, nobody says, but this person said, and you have nowhere to go. Landlord accuses you of screwing something up at your place? Good time for you to pull up the pictures of the pad you took and emailed yourself before you moved in, showing the same damage in the same area. I could go on, but the burden of proof is the go-to standard of argument. And honestly, dishonest people will do dishonest stuff and think you won't call them on it. That's not cool. And as somebody who avoids conflict until he can't, you have to keep your documentation ready just in case. Keep in mind, this can also help you out in good ways too. Think about things you've purchased and that you've got a warranty for, or whatever discount you could get with having that paper around. Number 1, time, money, resources. Pick 2. This is some of the best advice I've ever received, hence the number 1 here, and it's been immeasurably valuable. It's basically something you can apply to any project, situation, or set of circumstances in your life. You'll have 2 of the 3, but never all of them available to you. This channel is an example of that. I have resources, and relatively speaking, I have money. I mean, enough to do audio and video production in a low-key fashion. But time-wise, well, working, going to school, and teaching sucks a lot of that away. And that's why you get videos when I can get them together. But if you keep this 2 out of 3 rule in mind, it'll really help you with planning. You'll see results immediately. I used it when I helped a friend move, and even they were like, I was stressing until you just told me to spend $100 to ship stuff to myself. Again, time, money, resources. Don't have the money to get a great looking camera for a short video you want to make? Take advantage of resources, like lots of natural light, a time concern if there ever was one, and a really great location close by you could use at low cost without shelling out money for travel expenses. Want to fly to Japan but don't have the money for a direct flight? Use whatever technological resources you have to book a trip with a 24-hour plus layover in Beijing or Shanghai, and go hang out in the city for a while until the connecting flight shows up. And yes, there's a special visa you could use for this very same purpose. Drummer of your band drops out right before you're going to record? Find the best fill-in drummer you can for $300 and have them learn all the songs you're set to record off your demo in about a week. One of my old coworkers taught me this, and it's just been a complete and total life-changing, nearly immutable law. There's a natural tendency to see money as the end-all be-all problem solver. And yeah, it's a solid note to hit, but that doesn't mean it's the only thing you can deploy at any given point in time to solve a problem. Part of why I like all the music I like is because a lot of it was an example of people using resources and time as efficiently as possible to make records whose rawness was complementary in terms of its sound and its presentation. Ditto low-budget horror movies. Blood Feast is a crappy movie in comparison to something like The Godfather, especially in terms of budget, but hot damn if I didn't have a blast watching it the other night, and that's because they had a pick two thing going on over there. So that should get you started. Anyway, thanks again for stopping by, click the various buttons so I can stop selling plasma, and I'll see you soon. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask, and keep being great. Peace.